Welcome back to WandaVision. This is episode 6, all new Halloween Spooktacular. Obviously, Halloween themed episode. Very strange in February, but you know, it's very tropey. I'm sure if we're gonna have a Halloween episode, we're gonna have like a Christmas / holiday episode. Sorry, cords everywhere. Listen. If someone can figure out how to do computer setups, let me know. It's just a mess behind the screen. Anyways, last episode, it was the introduction of Pietro, reintroduction, I guess I should say, and they sort of gave some backstory on Wanda and how she got to where she is currently, and something that a lot of people have been speculating and pointing out is Agnes. At first, people were thinking it was going to be Agnes's husband, but I don't remember the name of him, to be honest. Ralph, I think. They were trying to say that he is probably behind the scenes doing something. I don't think Ralph exists. I think I'm leaning more in the camp now that Agnes is involved. I wouldn't say she's behind it, because I feel like there's still a chance that I think I just have to stick to my guns in that Wanda is solely responsible. But I'm seeing some theories that, one, Agnes is involved. She's sort of somehow the big bad, or at least manipulating Wanda. I've seen some theories that, like it's sort of a misconception what happened with Sword. Wanda did invade because obviously they're like, Vision's body was not in one piece and they were doing something to him. But like somewhere between rescuing him and where they are now, she got influenced by an outside source, basically. So I don't know. We'll see. We have 4 episodes left for this storyline. I'm not going to say season because, again, I don't know if they would do a season 2. But yeah, we have some time to figure it out still. The only thing I've seen for this episode, very, very good on spoilers this time. You know, for whatever reason, everyone decided today was the day we're not going to give spoilers for an episode. But the only thing I saw was that Quicksilver is in the classic sort of outfit, and everyone is sort of in their classic comic outfits. I don't know. We've seen promotional material of Vision and Wanda, both in their Scarlet Witch, outfits from the comics. So that's something to look forward to, I guess. Anyways, let's just get in this episode and see what happens. Specifically, I'm playing around with trying to get the picture-in-picture small enough, but still big enough, you know what I mean? So apologies if it looks weird. So tired. Agnes is part of the main cast. I mean, she's always been part of the main cast, but Pietro, please. I like that Billy's in the Wiccan outfit.
Worse than the costumes Mom made us the year we got typhus.
I'm disgusted. See, these are actually sitcom era that I am used to, which is, it's weird. Oh, Jesus.
Don't do that!
Where to keep your water balloons?
What? We don't have water balloons.
What was that?
Okay, but just remember that
There he is, the guy who almost got murdered by his own murder squad.
And oop.
You work for me?
5 years is an excuse to be a coward.
Ooh. Agents of Atlas, let's go. Let's go. Let's get into it. I'm Jimmy! This is not it! This is not the answer! I was so scared for a second just to be like Jimmy just attacking people and like, what the fuck are you doing? I thought Monica wasn't gonna go part of it. Yeah, I am. They're gonna find you guys.
kick-ass.
Ah, kick ass, I'm tired.
Want something changed?
Oh,
No, it's fine.
it's all breaking over. It's breaking down, dude. It's all breaking down. Is he gonna try and find like the city limit or something? My God. Look at all the blood rushing from her hands.
Yo, magic!
What? No.
So late. Can't
Wait a
believe you're
minute.
making them return all the candy.
I can't believe.
Ooh.
What happened to your accent?
What happened to yours?
Ooh. Ooh.
Details are fuzzy, man. I got shot like a chump in the street for no reason at all, and next thing I know, I heard you calling me.
Can we go? Next stop.
Oh, he's got his powers. Feeding Wiccan. Young Avengers coming up. It's over.
Gonna break.
That's interesting.
Not hacking the mainframe.
Guys,
Into the you know the phrase. The nitty gritty meat. No, it's Agnes.
Why would you think that?
Because you are.
Because you are.
Because I'm not.
Shit.
I will fix this, Agnes, I promise.
Well, there goes the theories of Agnes. Is he gonna like decompose when he goes past because he's dead outside?
written your cells on a molecular level twice. It's changing you.
How can these two just walk around? Only black and Asian characters in the show.
Where were you hiding all these kids up till now?
What?
I assume they were all just sleeping peacefully in their beds. No need to traumatize beyond the occasional holiday episode cameo. Families and couples
That's
stay
true.
Together.
Where the fuck did the kids come from?
Personalities aren't far from what's under.
Oh! No! God damn. Is it his body too? I'm tired. He's gonna die. He's gonna die because he's not real out there. Wiccan, let's go, Wiccan. How many times this man's got to die?
What's happening to me?
It's expanding? Well, she wants Vision back, so she's gonna extend the border, I guess. Holy crap. Oh! Holy crap, Wanda! How far are you gonna extend this barrier? No. A little bit left. Ooh. No, it is! I'm hungry. Okay, there was a couple things in the episode. So first off, even in the recap, they actually showed Age of Ultron, which is interesting. Like, the way... I don't know, it's such a weird thing, because, like, literally, Pietro... I'm not going to do a rewatch, just going to be honest, but I feel like, from my memory, I don't remember her ever, like, processing or mentioning Pietro's name since Ultron. You know, he died in Ultron, she had her outburst there, and that was it. She just kind of moved on. So... Right? Am I crazy? Or like, is this like the first time she's actually processing her grief over that? So that's crazy. Okay, let's actually look at the stuff. Wiccan and Speed coming in. Young Avengers definitely going to be... I would be... If they don't do Young Avengers soon, like, they have to announce it. Either they announce it at the end of the season, or they announce it like during Miss Marvel or Hawkeye. You know, those are the three chances they get to announce a Young Avengers series happening. Because like, it's so obvious. There's so many kids here, and it all takes one more age up for them. You know, they're a bit younger than the other castings, but like I said, one more age up, they're in. Everyone's got comic accurate costumes. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yes. This Hayward dude, I don't know. That was another theory that people have been saying. I haven't really put much stock in it, but now that we know that Agnes is... There's like a 5% chance she's still behind something. But after that scene, that I'm like fairly confident she's not a part of it. That she's not behind it, involved in that way. She's just like a prominent character, I guess. So now I'm leaning more towards the theory that Hayward is secretly like. See, I don't. There was this one person on Twitter, I don't remember who. If I can find the tweet, I'll post it. But basically, they were saying they don't understand why it would be Mephisto or Nightmare, building up all these random big cosmic whatever level villains that we, the audience, don't know. Only a comic book reader would know. And I get the argument that, well, people didn't really know who Iron Man was until they introduced him. They didn't really know who Quicksilver and Wanda were even until the actual movies came out. And so I get the argument that it's okay to introduce a character and not have audience expectations of them being there. I just feel like, me personally, I don't see them unveiling the curtain and it's some other person after all this buildup of it's Wanda. We see so much evidence of it's Wanda that to have it be, based on the dialogue she's had this episode especially, I can see a reality where somebody did influence her in, getting this started, but at this point it's all her. I don't think anyone's amplifying her power or whatever. I don't think anyone else is mind controlling her. I think she is definitely in control of what's happening. She wants all this stuff to happen. It's just the only iffy part for me is that I don't know how it started. Maybe the credit for starting it can be a Doctor Strange villain or whatever, some random person we haven't met in the MCU. I can see it that way, but at this point in the stage, as far as we've gotten back, literally with the expansion of this sector now, I don't think it's some other random third party now all of a sudden. But I will say that this Hayward dude, something is going on with him, because I don't know if it's just government agency corruption, whatever, or what, but like, Sword is supposed to be good. So I'm very suspicious about how he got so much power. They didn't really build up that. They just kind of said, when they introduced him, they're just kind of like, he was the next in line for leadership, basically, which is like, okay, but who are you? Why are you here? What makes you so special? We haven't really heard his credentials or anything. It was just, we needed a director and I was the next in line. So I wish they'd build up more of that, so maybe I can make a better prediction of if he's just dumb or if he's actually a villain, an intentional villain, or a complicit on, sort of just doing it by his own ineptitude. I guess in the vein of like Hammer in episode whatever, Iron Man 2. He's a villain because he goes against Iron Man, our protagonist, but he's not so much, he didn't, I can't remember. Okay, maybe he's a bad example, but like, I feel like he wasn't out to like harm people. He was just dumb. Okay, does that make sense? Like, there's two different types of villains, and so I think he's more of just, he's doing things because he doesn't fully want to listen. He's toxic masculinity and stuff like that. Anyways, I have all that stuff. Monica's blood work came through. It's altering her cells. Oh God, I'm going out of order. I'm trying to like, I'm looking at the timeline of the episode and like trying to pick out parts that I want to talk about, and then I'm also thinking about the things in the episode. So, Monica's results. Her cells are being rewritten. Easy explanation for how she gets powers, right? Hopefully by the end of the season we'll see some of it, but maybe Captain Marvel 2, but the other thing is that it's an easy explanation for how mutants come into the world, because their genetic DNA is literally different. They're a different species than humans. So if Wanda has the power to rewrite their DNA, she has the power to create mutants. Like I said, I don't know if it was last time, but I'm okay with her creating mutants to the extent that they are already characters in the world. I don't like the idea of her popping, like, just because Jubilee's on my mind right now. If they just introduce a random Asian character that is literally Jubilee, and she, there wasn't, I don't even know much about her, to be honest. I'll admit, I'm not the biggest Jubilee fan, but Iceman, because I know his real name. So imagine there's a Bobby Drake in the world, in the MCU already. He's been there since Iron Man, the first movie. There's been a baby Bobby Drake running around. He grew up. He's now like young adult, whatever. If he is somehow in this bubble, the Hex, and he gets his powers and he's Iceman now, I'm okay with that explanation for how mutants get in this world. What I don't want is her to like spontaneously create, I guess. I'm okay with transfusion. I'm not okay with creation. If you like know the laws of the material world, and I obviously this is magic, so it doesn't have to obey the laws of the material world, but yeah, I don't like the explanation that she is creating mutants. I would like it if she is transforming people into mutants. I think that's the most believable, the most logical and sort of seamless transition into the MCU, because if it's literally just, if it's something else, I don't know. They're gonna have to do a lot of explaining to get me on their side, because no. All the stuff with Pietro this episode, I feel like she's also puppeteering his corpse somehow. I don't know how she would have gotten it, but the fact that, see, the thing is, she saw Evan Peters all decayed with bullet holes. She didn't see Aaron Taylor Johnson. So it's not necessarily his corpse, but he's behaving like a sentient version of everyone else. Like a sentient version of all the other townspeople who they wanted, they're like Herb this episode. He is very much like, do you want me to try that again? You want me to do something that Vision's not doing? I'll take up that role. Like they're all becoming more and more aware of like they are actors in this fantasy world of hers. And that's what Pietro was acting like this episode. He was like, I came in last episode and now I'm supposed to create drama with Vision, take care of the kids, and just sort of let you process grief. So like he knows to an extent what's going on. So I still don't get why they recast him. They didn't really touch on the subject of, is he from the Fox universe? They just kind of said, your face is weird. Why is it like that? And then he just like, everything he's mentioned has been from this world. So from the MCU. So that's what's confusing to me. I still can't place where he's going, and then again, they brought up the accents. Why don't you have an accent? And then he's like, why did you lose your accent? So it feels like he might just be an apparition. I don't know. Like, I'm curious if Sword doesn't exist anymore because they ate up like 90% of the people. But I was gonna say, if Sword could do like a bioscan of him to see if he's real or not, because we know that all the townspeople are real. They're like actual people outside of this. Billy and Tommy are actual children birthed by Wanda, but we don't know what's the status of Pietro. Is he literally corporeal? Is he actual Pietro? Is he somebody else pretending to be Pietro? Is he just an illusion for her? There's so many variations because we haven't gotten confirmation on him. There's something else I'm going to touch on relating to that, but now it's fading from me. Everyone's dying slowly. I guess it takes her control. So people on the edge of town, that aren't the main focus of the story are like pretty much comatose, dead. I think it's a pretty simple explanation. I'm trying to think of words for it. Because Wanda is puppeteering everything and they are not the main focus, they're just there to flesh out the world. She's not putting her energy into them, and so she still has control over them, but they're not like actually doing anything to keep up appearances. So they're like probably malnourished and stuff. We saw that one lady who was trying to hang up the thing or whatever. Her hands were like all blue and purple. So obviously she's been holding that pose for a while. It's safe to assume she probably hasn't been going to the bathroom, eating, sleeping, drinking, you know. So I'm assuming that's what it is. Whereas characters like Agnes, Herb, people that are more in the spotlight in their little charade, they actually have patterns of sleep and going to the bathroom and stuff. God, there was something else I was going to talk about relating to that, but I don't remember now. The commercial, what the fuck's going on with that commercial? Like, I was trying to think of like, so people have said in the past that each of the commercials relates to a part of Wanda's life. So the first one was the Stark radio, which is the missile that killed her parents. Then it was Hydra, it was Baron Strucker, I believe, who took them up. Hydra, it was the second and third one. You know, obviously experimenting on them. I don't really remember what the last one was. Oh, it was the Lagos thing, which would be, I believe it was in Civil War, when she exploded the buildings and the people, you know, crossbones and stuff. I think that's what it was. So like, it's all been parts of her life, traumatic events. If we're going chronologically, I don't know what this is relating to, because this would have to be after Civil War. But if it's picking and choosing which parts, then she spent a lot of time this episode trying to talk about her backstory. And like, you know, after my parents died, you know, what was that thing that when we were trick-or-treating and mom was there? So like, maybe this is like when she was living on the street and she was starving and homeless or something. That's the only thing I can think of, but I don't know. It was just weird. Like, the commercials up till now have been very chipper and like ironic, but not like overtly dark. And this one is just like, nope, the kid just starves to death. Like, that is not fitting with the time frame, so it's all breaking down basically. And also, I'm curious about the status of Quicksilver now. She blasted him was the last thing we saw, so we don't know if he lived through that. And again, if he's real, surely he'll show up in the next iteration. If he's just an illusion for, like he was saying, for this episode to sort of resolve her grief and everything, then maybe he won't show up in the future episodes and that was the end of his cameo. I don't know. There's a lot of like possibilities with him. The last thing would be, like I said, a lot of like 90% more than that. I think only the people in that car and then Monica and Jimmy made it out of the hex. So that is, you know, I'm curious about what the people outside are going to do now. You know, I know it wasn't solely Sword, and I'm sure that Sword has more people back at home base and stuff like that, but like, where do they go from here basically? Curious about the people inside now that have got sucked in, like Darcy. You know, since she's a normal person, she's probably going to be brainwashed and sort of like Monica was in the first couple episodes, where, you know, maybe she'll start breaking through a little bit, but she's going to be pretty much just as helpless as everybody else, I think. But then it raises the question, is Darcy going to get powers then? You know, if my theory is correct and that she is making mutants, is she going to make her a mutant? Is Darcy going to be a mutant? I don't know. But it would be really cool, wouldn't it? It would be fucking cool. Like, this is a good episode. I think last one and this one have been my favorites so far. This one just because there's been a lot more I can talk about. You know, I think, again, maybe not the show's fault, just maybe my own comics knowledge and spoilers and leaks and, theory crafting before the show even was released. I sort of knew some things that were going to happen, but at this point, there's a lot of new stuff that I just don't know about, and a lot of curveballs they can throw at me. So I'm really liking these episodes now, where it's like, and also because it's like more modern now. Theoretically, they're in the 90s, 80s, 90s, right? It'll be the 90s this episode, I believe. Which again, I don't watch sitcoms, but like growing up as a 90s kid, I can see the stylistic choices in the way they're shooting the sitcom-y parts. So it felt very Malcolm in the Middle to me, even though I know it's probably not the main inspiration, but it was definitely that sort of camera style, like I was saying. The cuts between like when Wanda gets jump scared by Quicksilver both times, that kind of feel to it of like, oh, somebody's there now. And then like the talking to the camera part, I believe that's in Malcolm in the Middle. But yeah, it was. So again, I'm scared because like these are actually things that I'm aware of and like have experienced in my own life. So now it's like getting more real, and it's cool that even though people that have seen the older shows will appreciate those first episodes, I'm finally getting that sort of enjoyment out of it now. The sort of comparisons and the similarities between real life sitcoms and then this sitcom that they're parodying now. Anyways, great episode. Let me know what you thought about this episode, and if you agree with my theory about the mutants. If you don't, if I missed anything, like I said, there were so many emails and like names and files and stuff in this episode, so I'm very sure that I missed some Easter egg stuff. Like Ellis, is that supposed to be important? So let me know if you know, and yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Thanks for watching.